Hello, this is Opera SM with another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. Today we're going to be talking about a legacy deck, which Goblin Pile likes to call OmniHulk. It's a great, very powerful combo deck, focusing around Omniscience, which lets you basically cast spells for free, and Whir of Invention, which will fetch Omniscience and put it into play. We've got some ways to accelerate into those two spells. Startled Awake, which can gain you 13 mana for 6 mana, and then Dark Ritual, which for 6 mana will cast a spell from your hand. We have two damage sources in the deck. Combustible Gear Hulk, the Hulk of OmniHulk, where whenever you draw a card, your opponent takes 5 damage. It draws 3 cards when it comes into play. Also, Niv Mizzet Parun, which when a player casts a spell, you get to draw a card, and whenever you draw a card, this creature deals 2 damage to your opponent's planeswalker. There are 4 other spells, which are basically wheel effects from Wheel of Fortune, one of the original very powerful cards in Magic, which make people discard their hand and then draw cards. Behold the Beyond, you discard your hand, draw 6. Each of those spells gains 6 mana, which is great because both Dark Ritual and Startled Awake will then be able to cast something. Apex of Power, since this card has had some of its text changes, it is great. You exile your hand and draw 6 cards, and then gaining 4 mana instead of 3 mana, which it used to say for each card drawn this way, is huge. There's also a weird thing with how things are programmed here, where Apex of Power, if there is only one shield left on Omniscience, you'll draw your first card and then the last shield will go away, but the last 5 cards that you draw off of Apex of Power will each gain you 4 mana. So that's a great way to keep the chain going with some of the weird programming of the game currently right now. Pull from Tomorrow is one of my favorite cards in the game. For only 2 mana, it does such fantastic things. You discard 1 card and then get to draw 5 cards. When you're in the middle of going off, it usually doesn't go as one of the spells you'll want to cast, but it is a fantastic setup card to look for one of your 2 6-drop accelerators, or your Omniscience or Word to find it. And then Days Undoing is the last wheel effect, where you basically get rid of people's hands. Each player draws 5 cards and they gain 3 mana. So let's go ahead and give this deck a shot. We're going to play this in Trial of the Plains. I believe this is the bottom note on Trial of the Plains, but this is fantastic. This deck is just so good. I am using it with Bolas3 just because its mana gains are the best. The +4 to black, to black and to red are wonderful. It allows you to do some things that Bolas 1 might not necessarily do. For instance, you can cast a Startled Awake with a red or black match into an Apex of Power, and that will give you exactly 14 mana. So even those small little gains in the Planeswalker's mana bonuses can make a huge difference. Great, so we have a match 5 to start here. It's actually interesting to look at how we might approach this, because we can get a black plus a red if we want. Just making sure the straight line match won't be better, and we can get a Ritual into an Omniscience into a Gear Hulk to start. We might actually get a turn 1 win with this, so this is a great starting hand to see what we can get here. Into a Whir, so we're going to have more mana gains. And then once you're playing this deck, just to get edges, once you start going off, you choose what you want to start targeting, and then that can get you further along into more shields on Omniscience. We unfortunately did not draw into things to keep chaining, so we're not going to get our turn 1 win, but we should be set up hopefully soon for a very quick win. Apex of Power, great, so we have a draw 6, and now you can see that every time that we draw a card, we're dealing 7 damage to our opponent. So don't know if it matters too much here what we're going to do, but we're going to go ahead and wheel out. So let's see, we pull from Tomorrow, Behold the Beyond, so we're going to skip the pull from Tomorrow. We'll actually skip the pull from Beyond most likely here, because we have another thing that will get another Omniscience and put it into play. So we will choose again not to cast either of those spells. Now we're going to cast the Whir, which will get another Omniscience. Put a couple creatures into play because we don't get to choose if we want to cast them or not. Sometimes you're startled awake. If you have it flipped to Awaken Nightmare, you can choose not to play that, so it's not wasting a spell cast. But yeah, so now with drawing 6 more cards, the opponent's going to take 42 more damage, and then we're going to cast our next wheel effect, and he's going to be dead on turn 2. So again, this deck is extremely powerful. It's what I use to power my way through the Grixis colors of Trial of the Planeswalkers and many other Legacy PvP and PvE events. It's just a very fast way to win in addition to an extremely powerful, consistent way to win. Hope you enjoy this. If you've not seen this deck before, more videos coming soon. If you'd like to join the From the Ashes Alliance of Coalitions, please let us know and we can give you an invite to our Slack chat.